Lovely story. I went back through and I did me some reading, and, well, I had made a previous mistake in some of my other videos. I was claiming that it was Pope Benedict or Pope Benedictine, depending on which version I was reading and in what language it happened to pop up in. But the fact is, it was the Pope after him, Pope Clement VI, I believe. I might have typed that wrong. I read the article right before I started this just so that I can try to make sure I got the details right. In the 780s, this is, well, over 1,000 years before the last burning of a witch in the United States or Europe. I believe it was 785 or 783. The Pope at the time made it, well, their equivalent of the Pope, I guess, made it illegal to burn people as witches, and he imposed a death penalty for anybody who chose to burn a witch. However, it wasn't until Pope Benedict got sick and died, and the Black Plague came through. And at the time, doctors were considered witches. That's right. All pagans were considered witches, which is kind of strange to think today, but it's kind of like saying that all Jews are, and then insert stereotype, or black people are, and then you insert stereotype, or white people are, or men are, or women are, and you insert stereotype. So why do I believe in witchcraft? Well, I don't believe in modern Wicca. That's for certain. I believe that a lot of the stuff that is taught as witchcraft was accumulated knowledge. When Pope Clementine, or Pope Clement, sorry, the 6th, had the bubonic plague going through his city, and it was killing a lot of people. You know, he went to astronomers, that's right, went to astronomers to have the astronomers tell him God's will. This is the Pope, people. So, what did they do after that? Well, he had a bunch of doctors that were being locked up to be executed as witches. Because apparently in the 780s, even though that was a real good idea to not just be burning people at the stake as witches, well, that didn't stick around very long. People do what they want. What year did Martin Luther put up his points and get executed as a witch and a heretic? Yep, people will literally kill you for thinking differently than they do. If you don't believe in the imaginary spaceman in the sky the same way they do, people on this planet will literally kill you. So, we should probably pay attention to that. Now, the Pope didn't want to get the bubonic plague, and his physicians, mind you, he didn't have physicians. All of the doctors were locked up and awaiting execution as witches. That's right. If you got sick, it was God's will over whether you died or not. And everybody who tried to have medicines and learn about medicines and share those medicines. They were killed for doing so. That's not God's will. Well, then when the Pope was afraid of death, he went to astronomers and doctors for help. Now, I had to make this video because I realized after reading the article that Pope Benedict, or Benedictine, was the one just prior. So I did make that mistake. When it comes to actual witchcraft and witch doctors, yep, that's where we get the term witch doctor from. It's not somebody shaking rattles in Africa or shaking rattles in Jamaica. Those aren't witch doctors. Witch doctors was any doctor in the 1300s that practiced medicine instead of following the Catholic Church. Now look how many lives they saved. To this day. Meanwhile, modern medicine was actually started in ancient Egypt. Imagine that. Their surgical tools are exactly the same as ours. Their scalpels look exactly the same. It's not some mumbo-jumbo where I think if you burn a particular scent of incense that it's going to scare away evil spirits or any such nonsense like that. That's your religion. Your religion makes you believe that stuff. No, it doesn't make you. You choose whether you want to believe it or not. You want absolution, don't you? You'd like to live forever, wouldn't you? Do you know what that entails? Let's say you went to heaven, but your wife went to Hades. Would you be able to enjoy your time in heaven? If you really loved her, that would be pretty difficult, especially since this Hades is supposed to be a lake of fire to burn and torture their souls for all eternity. That doesn't sound like the creation of a loving God. Even Pope Clement VI, when facing the possibility of death, chose astrology and medicine. Astrology is a bunch of hoopla, but medicine is not. All pagan medicine was considered witchcraft. Many of the pagans, what we like to associate them with today is stories of monsters. But really, there were many different pagan religions. Pagan basically meant anything that wasn't Catholic for about 4 centuries. If you were Protestant, they would have considered that pagan. However, it was the Protestant Reformation that really changed the face of what people considered, well, what they considered a witch, what they considered blasphemy, what they considered hell-worthy. Christians have killed more Christians than all other religions have killed Christians combined. That includes the Catholic Church over 3 dozen times, having purges that rival those of Joseph Stalin in prior to the Second World War. Sure, the population might not have been as large, but the percentage of the population lost was quite significant. I don't believe in any of this fairy tale hoopla about how you can conjure up something and turn somebody into a stone or turn them into a frog. The part of witchcraft that I find so useful is the crafting of medicines. When it comes to abuse against at-risk adults, you tend to find any excuse to look away if it's a male. All of these services blow off males. They blow off the homeless in general, but males get it the worst. Now, with Pope Clement VI declaring that doctors were no longer witches because he was afraid of dying, that right there should show you everything you need to know about religion. All pagans were considered witches for a very long period of time. I'm in a lot of physical pain and a lot of emotional pain. All the time. I'm expected to function through it when people show me they don't care. They show me that they don't care who hurts me or how often or how frequently. I tell people I record everything. Sometimes they come back after realizing they've been recorded and they're throwing tantrums. That's fine. There's a lot of things that are tolerable if you don't know they're going on. But once you know they're going on, if you don't come forward, that is intolerable and insufferable. Through all of this, it's been social isolation, deprivation. I'm tired of all the hate, and I'm tired of being stuck with it. I needed help stopping the abuse. And that's never gonna happen.